What if the most powerful weapons in a war are not the bombs? What if the side losing generals, losing bases, and losing allies is still able to keep fighting and sometimes even turn the battlefield in its favor? For decades, modern warfare has been dominated by something called precision, smart bombs, satellite targeting, artificial intelligence, military technology designed to strike exactly where it wants. But in the Middle East today, a strange paradox is unfolding. A country that has lost top commanders, faced devastating sanctions, watched its economy shrink, and endured some of the most advanced airstrikes on Earth, is still standing. And not just standing, it's fighting back. Welcome to its financial history too. Iran, a nation often described as isolated, wounded, and leaderless after waves of assassinations and strikes, continues to shape conflicts across the Middle East, from Iraq to Syria, Lebanon, and the Red Sea. How? Is it simply resilience? Or is there something deeper happening here, a strategy that turns weakness into strength? To understand this mystery, we have to go back decades, long before the smart bombs began falling. Because Iran's strategy was not built in a single war. It was built from survival. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran suddenly found itself surrounded by enemies. The United States cut ties. Western powers imposed sanctions. And within a year, Saddam Hussein's Iraq invaded. The Iran-Iraq War lasted 8 brutal years. Iran had almost no modern weapons, no powerful allies, and a devastated military after the revolution. Meanwhile, Iraq was receiving weapons and intelligence support from major global powers. By every traditional measure, Iran should have collapsed. But it didn't. Instead, Iran learned one of the most important lessons in modern warfare. If you cannot win with technology, you win with strategy. During that war, Iran began building a new model of defense. Not a traditional army designed to defeat enemies in open battle, but a network. This is where the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, known as the IRGC, became the centerpiece of Iran's military thinking. Instead of relying purely on tanks and jets, Iran began investing in asymmetric warfare, tactics designed for weaker powers to challenge stronger ones, missile development, proxy groups, underground networks, and ideological alliances across the region. Over the next 40 years, that network quietly expanded. In Lebanon, Hezbollah grew into one of the most powerful non-state militaries in the world. In Iraq, multiple militias emerged with deep ties to Tehran. In Syria, Iranian advisors helped keep the Assad government alive during the civil war. And in Yemen, the Houthis developed increasingly advanced missile and drone capabilities. On paper, these groups are separate. In reality, they form something analysts often call the axis of resistance, a decentralized structure designed to survive even if its leadership is attacked. And that brings us to the turning point. For years, the United States and Israel focused on decapitation strikes, eliminating key Iranian figures. The most dramatic moment came in 2020 when a U.S. drone strike killed General Qasem Soleimani, the architect of Iran's regional strategy. Many experts predicted that Iran's network would collapse without him. But something unexpected happened. Instead of falling apart, the network adapted. Commands became more decentralized. Regional groups began acting with greater autonomy. And Iran accelerated investment in something that would change the balance of power, drones, and precision missiles. Unlike fighter jets, drones are cheap. Unlike tanks, they are hard to detect. And unlike traditional armies, they can be built and deployed by smaller groups. In recent years, this technology has spread rapidly across Iran's allies. Missile strikes in the Red Sea, drone attacks targeting oil infrastructure, rocket barrages from multiple fronts. Suddenly, the battlefield was no longer controlled only by the side with the most advanced aircraft. It was controlled by the side that could create the most unpredictable threats. This is where the idea of smart bombs versus smart thinking becomes real. Advanced militaries rely heavily on precision air power. But air power has limits. Bombs can destroy buildings. They can eliminate commanders. But they cannot easily dismantle a decentralized network spread across multiple countries. Every time one group is weakened, another can activate. Every time a commander is killed, another emerges. It's a strategy designed to absorb damage while keeping pressure on opponents. And the data behind modern conflicts shows how powerful this approach can be. In the past 2 decades, the United States has spent trillions of dollars on military operations in the Middle East. Yet many of the groups it fought, from insurgent networks in Iraq to militias in Syria, continue to exist today. Why? Because asymmetric warfare rewards patience. A weaker power doesn't need to win quickly. It only needs to survive longer than its opponent expects. And Iran has turned this concept into an entire geopolitical doctrine. But this strategy has also come with enormous costs. Iran's economy has been hammered by sanctions. Its currency has repeatedly collapsed. Youth unemployment remains high. Protests have erupted across the country. And inside Iran, many citizens question whether regional influence is worth the economic pain. This creates a dangerous balancing act for the Iranian leadership. On one side, projecting power abroad helps deter enemies and maintain influence. On the other side, the domestic pressure keeps growing. And this tension may define the next phase of the conflict, because technology is evolving fast. Artificial intelligence, satellite surveillance, cyber warfare, and hypersonic weapons are transforming modern battlefields. But the deeper lesson from Iran's strategy is something far older than technology. Wars are not just fought with weapons. They are fought with ideas. Smart bombs can destroy targets. But smart thinking changes the rules of the game. And Iran has spent decades redesigning those rules. Today, even after losing commanders, facing sanctions, and enduring constant pressure, Iran still influences conflicts across an entire region. Not because it has the strongest military, but because it built a system designed to survive. A system where power is spread across networks rather than concentrated in a single leadership. A system where setbacks become adaptation, and that leads to 3 critical lessons. First, in modern warfare, decentralization is power. Highly centralized systems may be strong, but they are also fragile. Remove the leadership, and the system can collapse. Networks, however, are much harder to destroy. Second, technology alone does not guarantee victory. History repeatedly shows that smaller forces with better strategy can challenge much stronger enemies. From guerrilla wars to cyber conflicts, the pattern repeats again and again. And third, conflicts today rarely end with decisive victories. Instead, they become long contests of endurance, economic, political, and psychological. The real question is not who wins the next battle. The real question is who can sustain the fight longer. And that's where the future of the Middle East becomes uncertain. Because every new strike, every new assassination, and every new escalation risks expanding a network of conflicts that already stretches across multiple borders. If history teaches us anything, it's that wars built on networks rarely end quickly. They evolve, they spread, and sometimes they reshape entire regions. So the next time headlines talk about smart bombs hitting targets, remember the deeper question: are bombs really deciding the outcome of this war? Or is the real battle happening in strategy, patience, and the ability to adapt? Because in modern warfare, the smartest weapon may not be the bomb, it may be the mind behind it. If you found this analysis helpful and want more deep dive explanations on global conflicts, geopolitics, and the hidden patterns shaping the world, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because the biggest stories in the world are often the ones that take the longest to fully understand.